Alright, so here's a redo. I apologize, my Elgato just disconnected um, from the computer for no reason, and so I had to reconnect it to the computer. Like, I don't know, something went wrong with the USB hub connection, so I connected it to an actual USB port attached to my computer. So I had an issue there, but it is all good in the hood, and we are good. So again, welcome to episode 11 of RCW Season 3. So in the last episode that we did of RCW, or as far as I know of, okay, got my phone here. Okay, there we go. I wanted to find my phone real quick. But in the last episode, we obviously did the RCW NV pay-per-view like we always do. With every 10th episode, we have a pay-per-view. I'd like to apologize for that. Reason being, I wasn't 100% when I did that pay-per-view. I felt like crap, honestly. It is working better. Yeah, I had to restart it, but you know, I've had technical difficulties before. But like I was saying just a couple seconds ago, I wasn't feeling 100% when I did the pay-per-view, as you could probably tell by my voice and how different it sounds when my nose is all stuffed up and I'm all sick and I'm coughing every few seconds, and you know how it goes. Probably most of you have gotten a cold before. Everybody does at some point. And when I get sick very bad. Like, honestly, it's not normal. When I get sick, my body just completely shuts down. In the sense that I don't have any energy to do anything. I was taking meds after meds, you know, I was taking meds out the wazoo. I was doped up on cold meds, just trying to get rid of it, because I felt so awful. And that's what being sick does to you, especially if you get sick really bad. It just drains all the energy, because your body's trying to fight off whatever in the world you have. So I was drained, and I rescheduled the pay-per-view because I was sick. I rescheduled it thinking that I would be better by whatever day that I did it. I think it was like January 10th or something like that, or 11th or whatever. I don't know what it was. But whenever I did it, I just felt bad. I still have a cough still. You'll hear me cough every few seconds, but it's obviously better now. I'll obviously be a lot more energetic. And honestly, when I do the show, I like to be energetic. I like to have, you know, to not really scream and shout, but, you know, I like to, you know, when I commentate the matches, and, you know, I like to commentate as if it was a real wrestling match, you know, that it's like not in a video game. You know, it's awesome, and I like to, you know, really get into the moments and stuff like that. And when I was sick, obviously I couldn't do that as effectively. You know, obviously I can't scream at the top of my lungs, I can't shout, I couldn't do anything. I just felt really bad, so I apologize for that. But I really wanted to, you know, get this out to you guys. I really wanted to, you know, get it out. Not just to get it out, but, you know, I wanted to be at least better, and I thought I was, and I wasn't. So, in the case that happens again, most likely, I just won't stream. I won't even try to reschedule the pay-per-view. I'll just be like, there is no there. That doesn't mean I won't do it. But I'll mostly just try and get better rather than worry about RCW. Honestly, because health is more important than anything else, and if I'd rather, you know, be at 100% or at least 90% at the most, than stream and be all stuffed up and not have a lot of energy, you know. And obviously I like to abide by a schedule, so if I'm sick on one of my stream days, you know, I'm sick, and that's just how it is. And unfortunately, you know, that's how life rolls. You know, when you're sick, and you got to get better, and you got to focus on health. So again, I apologize for that, and I apologize for not being 110% when I should have been. I should have taken a sick day. Nothing says that I'm not obligated to stream, but I do it, and I have a schedule, and I like to abide by that schedule because I love giving this content to you guys. And, you know, it didn't really make me feel crappy about myself not being able to do it, but I just felt that when I don't give 110% to something, I feel bad about it. Like, I would have been like, oh, I could have done that better. But the pay-per-view went well, but it would have gone better if I wasn't sick. As far as, like, storylines and scripts and everything went according to plan. You know, the matches were great. It's not that. It's just that I'd rather be 110% than not 110%, you know. But with that said, we're back. And obviously, if you haven't watched the pay-per-view, there's going to be spoilers at this point. So, from this point on, there's going to be spoilers. So, if you haven't watched the pay-per-view up to this point, I suggest you click off and you watch the pay-per-view on either in my Twitch broadcasts, in my past broadcasts, because I believe that's still up there, or on my YouTube channel, or on my Mixer channel as well, because we stream on 3 platforms. So, with that said, we have Miles Anderson making, I guess, a statement. He made a statement against Chris Danger when he invaded RCW Envy in very ghostly fashion, I should say. Just absolutely coming out of nowhere, attacking Chris Danger, and now he wanted to make a statement, and his debut match will be against Chris Danger in a steel cage match in the main event of this episode of RCW. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We also had Brian Outlaw lose the RCW Carnage title to Shinsuke Nakamura, which he's going to make also a statement on that. He will be in action tonight. I won't tell you what that's going to be, because I want that to be a surprise. I've had this storyline brewing for a while, and I hope you guys enjoy that. For a long time, you've known me to be someone who plays by the rules, who always says and does the right thing. Well, tonight I'm going to say some things that are going to go against that. Some of you might not want to hear it. Being nice has gotten me nowhere so far, so now I have to be honest. Obviously making a statement here. I'll be honest, I feel like I've been spinning my wheels around here lately. Some of that is on me, and a lot of it's on the other people's. But tonight, going forward, that's going to end. You can only be ignored so many times in RCW before you realize the only way to make something happen is to do it yourself. That's why I'm out here, because I'm not waiting around to be noticed anymore. It's time for me to have a match that will show the world that I belong here and I'm one of the best. Well, Miles, you will have your match against Chris Danger tonight, so you're welcome. So, in case you don't know the backstory of Miles Anderson is from Rochester, New York. He grew up a New York Jets fan and played running back for the New York Jets for a couple years. I believe about 2 to 3 years before he blew his knee out and couldn't play in the NFL anymore. So he took on his passion of wrestling. He was always a fan of wrestling as a kid, and fortunately, wrestling was able to give him another sports opportunity. Obviously, I have I probably should have streamed or should have done like some series, franchise series, New York Jets franchise series on Madden 19, because actually I did that. I actually did that, and I took screenshots of him in his Jets uniform. But now he is a wrestler, so none of that matters now. His NFL career is behind him. And I asked him about it. I said, so what do you think about, you know, blowing your knee out and not being able to play football anymore? And he told me, he's like, well, it's disappointing, but he goes, honestly, I've always dreamed about being a wrestler, and now I can do that. So it's very interesting to him. As we have Shinsuke Nakamura, the brand new RCW Carnage champion, going up against Daniel Bryan. So Shinsuke Nakamura, this is the one person that Bryan Outlaw did not want to lose the title to. As you've seen him tweet out, that it was the one person that he absolutely did not want to lose the title to. He lost it in a triple threat match against Shinsuke Nakamura, obviously, and Seth Rollins. And he would have been fine with Seth Rollins winning the title, but Shinsuke Nakamura came in at the right time, delivered a Kinshasa knee strike straight to the face, knee to face, and pinned Bryan Outlaw. So, but Bryan Outlaw did put that behind him. And he also probably took a shot at Shinsuke, saying that he won't have as great of a title reign as Bryan did. And I have to agree that despite Bryan's attitude, questionable attitude, if that, he was good as champion. As commissioner and GM of the show, he was a really good champion. He always defended the title when need be. He wanted competition. And not a lot of champions want that. A lot of champions, you know, they'd rather hide behind, you know, find the easy way out. He never did. In most of his matches, he didn't have anybody at ringside helping him out. He didn't have Paige, he didn't have his sisters, he didn't have his brother. He had nobody. It was just him. And I respect that. And I hope, but he, honestly, I asked him what's next for him, you know, after losing the title. And he said, let bygones be bygones. It's done. It's over. The next chapter is beginning. And the next chapter starts next week. Or next episode, for that matter. And I'm excited to see what you guys think of the next thing that I have planned for him. As the yes man, Daniel Bryan looks to possibly punch a ticket in the RCW Carnage title picture. This should be a very interesting match. As Shinsuke Nakamura starts out with a drop kick, and I apologize for my dogs. They're barking at legit everybody, because my Uncle Frank was here fixing whatever it was down in the basement. So whenever he comes up, they go nuts. So, you know, there's nothing I can really do about it. I wish there was, but fortunately, when I was at my dorm room, I didn't have that problem because I didn't have the dogs with me. But fortunately, the college that I'm going to now, I live 6 minutes away from it. Which, by the way, I had my first day today. It went really awesome, and you know, it was really cool. My professors are badasses. They're honestly the coolest people ever. Especially my communications professor. She literally, no joke, she was like, yeah, shit is my favorite word. She goes, I'm gonna say that a lot. And you know, I just thought that was cool. I was like, because she swears a ton, and I kid you not, she used the term thirsty AF today in class, like actual like thirsty. You know what I mean by thirsty? Pretty much everybody knows what thirsty means, and she used that. I think she said like she's turning like 40 next year or this year, And I was like, I like this girl already. What am I doing now? I am currently going for media and communication arts to go to be a commentator in wrestling. So to do this, except for a real wrestling promotion. As Daniel Bryan reverses that. Big move there. And yes kicks from Daniel Bryan. Signature Daniel Bryan. But according to him now, the yes movement is dead. So, according to this new Daniel Bryan, if you've been watching SmackDown lately, the new Daniel Bryan is dead. And the running knee to Shinsuke Nakamura. Middle of the ring. 1, 2, and Shinsuke kicks out. What a victory that would be if Daniel Bryan is able to knock off Shinsuke here. If you're able to pin the champion, that definitely increases your chances of a title match in the near future. And in every pay-per-view, I put the title on the line, so... I also reunited with one of my old friends that I went to school with, which is really cool. I didn't recognize him when he walked into class this morning. He walked into class this morning. I saw his face. I knew him. I turn around and I'm like, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "Holy crap!" You know, and him and I were like really excited to see each other. His name is Brian. I went to when I was at it was before I came to Rockport. It was so nice to see him again. I think he's actually in his last semester, or second to last. Actually, on the bright side, with me transferring to this college, I don't have to spend a lot of time at this college, because of the stuff that I did while I was at my other college. Most of it transferred over, so I won't have to spend another... I don't think I'll have to spend another 2 years in college. Or 2 years in college, since a lot of my credits transferred over. I still have to send over my other transcript, but honestly, I'm really excited to see what the future holds here. I'm definitely enjoying it. One, because I'm only taking 2 classes every single day. So 2 classes every single day. I get out at 1 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I get out at 1:15, which is fantastic. And I start at 10 in the morning. So I still have to wake up at 7 o'clock to get ready. But at the same time, it's not too bad, you know, because I only have to be in class for X amount of hours. And a King Chasa to Daniel Bryan, and I apologize for like going on a tangent and not focusing on the match. I just thought I'd tell you stuff that's going on. You're sick, Wild Tay? I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I'm just getting over a cold. It's that time of year, man, where everyone's getting colds and getting sick and, you know, feeling like crap, you know. It's that time of year, dude, you know. Honestly, I honestly told myself that when I was sick that I'd rather be sick now than sick later. Because I hate missing classes, and I'm glad I was sick during the last part of my break over being sick for college. Because when you miss classes in college, it's really hard to catch up. It is really hard. And Shinsuke Nakamura knocked over the referee. But hesitated a little bit. And Daniel Bryan able to take over. You lost your voice, huh? I've had that happen to me before when I've been sick. It's not a good thing. I can tell you that. If you want my advice, take either tea with lemon. And if you don't like tea, have water with lemon. A lot of vocalists do it when their voice is kind of hoarse, when they're not able to speak. Try to limit, like, even though you lost your voice, try not to, like, talk at all. Just try to drink lots of fluids, especially water with lemon. I know that's helped me when I've been sick, especially when I've lost my voice. So I highly suggest you do that. And Shinsuke again kicks the ref down, and the ref is down for the count now. Tries for a low blow, but Daniel Bryan able to intercept that. Tried for a low blow again, but Daniel Bryan able to intercept that again, and it looks like a full Nelson suplex. And Shinsuke able to kick out of that. And a drop kick. Man, what a matchup this is between these two. I would love to see this happen in real life. I don't think this has happened in real life yet. I would love to see this match happen. Yeah, take a lot of vitamins too. Because drink orange juice especially. Vitamin C is really good for you when you're sick. It's good for you, period, but especially when you're sick. I know that and this is coming from a person that doesn't really drink orange juice. And I thought Daniel Bryan was going to go on the outside, but and bust Daniel Bryan open with furious strikes by Shinsuke. Able to throw him back in the ring now. Looking for Kinshasa again. And Kinshasa again on Daniel Bryan. That has to be it now. He's been hit with it twice. And Shinsuke Nakamura able to come out with the victory. What a match. This match could have gone either way. I thought Daniel Bryan was going to possibly come out with a victory. You know how resilient Daniel Bryan is, but the quickness of Shinsuke Nakamura is just... King of Strong Style was too much for him. Oh no, Shinsuke. No, this is up. The match is over. Come on, man. Looks like Shinsuke's not done punishing the Medicine Ball at Starbucks. No, I've never heard of that. I make my own coffee, so I never really like go to coffee places looking for Kinshasa again on Daniel Bryan. Wow. I love Starbucks, but I'd rather spend like $30 on, or 20, 30 bucks on a big packet of K-Cups for my Keurig than spend $4 to $5 on a medium coffee. Tea and mint and lemon. That sounds kind of gross, to be honest. Mint and lemon. I never liked mint, so I doubt I would like that. And I don't like tea either. I'm a coffee guy. So we have a tag team match happening. So this is with Brian Outlaw and Jason Outlaw. These two have teamed up immensely. New attire for both Jason. I already did play NBA 2K19 for a stream. I honestly didn't really enjoy streaming it, so I probably won't do it again. I don't really enjoy streaming that game, and there are games that I enjoy playing that I don't enjoy streaming. And that's kind of one of those games. I'd rather stream a game that I actually like playing and streaming at the same time, you know what I mean? It's kind of like with Black Ops 4. Like, I'll stream zombies, but I won't stream like multiplayer or blackout or anything like that. And same with Fortnite. Like I hate Fortnite, but I love playing it with friends. But I won't stream it. You know, and I live by the motto: if you don't like streaming something, your audience is gonna know that you don't like streaming it. So, you know, if you're not excited and you're not engaging, then, you know, you're not really gonna attract many people, or at least that's what I've learned. Like, I've learned that you should stream games that you love streaming, not just love playing, but love streaming. Like, you can love a game, like, so much, but you can hate streaming it. And that could be for multiple reasons. Either because you suck at it, you know, and it doesn't honestly matter how good you are at a game. Like, even if you suck at a game, you're still going to get people that are going to be in your stream. Because, you know, in my opinion, like, when you're an entertainer, regardless if you're a streamer, commentator, whatever it is, what games have I thought about streaming? You know, Red Dead, before I deleted it because it took too much space up, you know. You guys should check out this entrance. Check this entrance out. This is an entrance that I actually edited together today, actually. I actually made it today. I made their attire today. I've had this storyline here for a while. You know, I think you guys are gonna like this. Obviously, these Jason and Brian, they're brothers, so they know each other more than anybody else. And I gotta take a screenshot. I gotta take a screenshot. I should have taken a screenshot of them just standing out there. But obviously these two know each other very well. They're brothers, you know, they know their wrestling style well. And you know, they've tagged together in Lockdown, or in the show Lockdown. Well, not officially yet, but back in the MWE, they tag teamed together. And I asked Brian about his next chapter, and he always talked about winning the tag team titles with his brother. After Jason lost the RCW World title to Randy Orton at the Envy pay-per-view in a first blood match. So he bled first, Jason bled first, so he lost. And I asked him about that, and he said, honestly, the loss did crush me. I thought I had it, but, you know, more opportunities are there to come. And obviously, you've seen this tag team before. Black Hole, Finn Balor, and Aleister Black. When's the next Lockdown stream? Probably. Sorry. Probably Wednesday or Friday. Within this week. I know I want to do it again because I haven't done it in forever. But I just had RCW planned for a while. So I wanted to do this first. Obviously, we don't need to see their whole entire entrance because you've seen it before. Man, I swear, that logo with Brian Outlaw and how that is looks so cool. And Brian Outlaw is starting off with a spear to the demon Finn Balor. And I can't wait to see what these two do for the tag team division. And you have Chris Danger coming out there. And Finn Balor and Aleister Black do know each other very well, but you have to give the edge to the Outlaws here because they've been tagging a lot longer than Aleister Black and Finn Balor have. And a leg drop to Aleister Black and a chop right back. But you have to wonder the impact of those chops in a DDT to Bryan, and now Bryan's getting knee to the back. But you got to wonder, is the vest protecting both Jason and Bryan? You have to wonder how protective the vest is. Just a simple punch to the face of Aleister Black, and Aleister looking to make the hot tag, but Lurk, go ahead. And a correction on Aleister Black. So far, the Outlaws doing pretty well in this matchup. Now we have Jason tagging in. Now Jason now. Going right after. Picking up the pieces. Of what his brother Bryan did in this match. Chris Danger, though, despite watching this match, he definitely has to think about his match against Miles Anderson tonight. And Miles Anderson has been in some pretty brutal matches, including steel cages. And we haven't seen Chris Danger in a steel cage match yet. Again, a knee to the throat. And a bail kick to Aleister Black. Now this is an absolute mauling of Team Black Hole here. And VR on Aleister Black. Jesus. The Outlaws do work well, and Bryan's right there, but Finn breaks up the pin. And now Finn takes care of Bryan. Lifts Bryan up, though. Great decision helping out his brother. Now Bryan's back on the apron, but Finn Balor is still on the outside trying to recuperate here. What's he going for here? Double team. What teamwork by the Outlaws here. As Finn Balor gets back on the apron. Oh no. A couple of strikes from Aleister Black and takes Bryan down, but Bryan able to get right back up though. Gets him on the apron. Throws him back in. Taking care of Finn Balor. Now Finn Balor is tagged in. It appears that a tag was made and Bryan didn't see it. Just a kick out at one. And again, you gotta remember that Jason is right there. And Finn definitely has to keep an eye out on that one. Irish whip to the corner. But again, Bryan is just has eyes in the back of his head, able to intercept that a little bit. Looking for a correction on Finn Balor now. He hit one on Aleister Black, and this connects. Dragging the lifeless body of Finn Balor to the corner. Looking to possibly do a double team perhaps, but Finn has different ideas. Oh, Bryan was right there for the hot tag, but Finn was able to stop him. Irish whip to the corner, but Alistair's right there. And again, Bryan able to reverse that one, and Lopez press on Finn Balor. No hesitation, tags his brother Jason in, the freshest man in this matchup. And a bail kick on Finn Balor, no! Finn Balor reversed. Jason reversed into a pin combo. And just... Finn reversed it first into his own pin combo. And Finn kicked out in a bail kick. So much happening. Looking for a VR on Finn Balor now. VR on Finn. Trying to get rid of Alistair. He does do that. Smart idea. But only gets a 2 count on Finn Balor. Now Finn now. Able to get a reversal, but Jason again with eyes in the back of his head and a couple of chest stomps to the Demon. I definitely think that the Outlaws, if they keep doing this in every single matchup, this is only their first matchup here in RCW, but if they keep doing this and showing this dominance, I guarantee we can see. But Alistair's able to... Finn Balor's able to make the tag to Alistair. And now Finn Balor's taking a breather. But Alistair's just as beat as Finn is, and a bail kick on Alistair Black. Looking for a VR on Alistair. No hesitation here. Oh no, a reversal though. And a German suplex. Oh no. Another reversal. And a couple of chops in the corner. A million chest stomps. And Jason is tired. Tags in his brother Bryan, and now possibly Bryan looking to finish this. Oh yeah, he is. He's looking to finish this with a jailbreak DDT. Jailbreak DDT on Alistair. Look at this. Jailbreak DDT right out of the gate. Jason trying to stop Finn Balor, but Alistair kicked out of 2. And Alistair's bleeding. Look at how bad that is. Just the blood gushing from Alistair's forehead. Will another jailbreak DDT do it? That's got to be enough. If he lands this, it's over. Jailbreak DDT on Alistair again. Referee is right there. And the Outlaws win. Wow. What a matchup. They didn't even need Chris Danger. Chris Danger did not get involved in that match. He was more of an insurance policy. The Outlaws don't even need that. I need to take a screenshot because that's really cool. I honestly love the attire I did for these guys. I gotta say, this is probably the best attire I've done. For any of them, any of the wrestlers. Oh, what a matchup that was. Still got more though. Well, first we have Brian Outlaw. First we have Brian Outlaw. Even after his match, he still likes to say stuff. So, I actually lost the paper that I actually wrote down the results of the pay-per-view on. But luckily I still had the results up. Like, I didn't simulate in the universe mode yet until today. So I was able to write stuff down. I actually took out four pieces of paper out of my printer so that I could write stuff down. Because that's how I keep track of who wins what. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to keep track of who wins what, you know. Because it would be difficult. Like, I have a good memory, but I don't have that. Surprisingly, like, I was actually able to think of who won without actually doing anything. There's been a lot of backstage talk involving me and a certain someone going around lately. Heck, I'm even seeing it online and on social media, so I've decided to come out here and clear things up. Well, I don't know who you're talking about, because unless it's having to do with Shinsuke, then I would know, but then again, I never know what Brian Outlaw's up to. Overlooked? What do you mean overlooked? You just lost the RCW Carnage title, and now you just had a tag team matchup. What do you mean overlooked? I'm getting one of those titles around your waist and showing you all that I'm great, as I say I am. Well, you can do it with the... You can always go for the tag belts. The Usos are the new tag team champions. By the way, they beat the Hardy Boys. Which, that was a shocking result. Even I didn't even think that was going to happen. There's no one in the locker room who can stand up to me, and no one who's man enough to challenge me. They all know it's true. They don't want me to humiliate them. That's fine with me. I'm confident in what I do, so to anyone who wants to try and take me out, this is your first warning, and trust me, there won't be a second. Well, you know, Brian Outlaw never likes giving out warnings. He just does things. That's how a lot of the wrestlers are. They never give out warnings, except, you know, maybe John Cena, maybe Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, but, you know, the Outlaws, Violet Knight, who hasn't made her debut yet, but will, eventually. But sometimes it's good not to give warning. So we have a no-holds-barred match with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. And Seth Rollins, again, if you watched the RCW NV pay-per-view, you would know that he came up short in the triple threat match for the RCW Carnage title. Unfortunately. But he could definitely punch his ticket into the RCW World title picture if he can beat Randy Orton. No holds barred, no disqualifications, anything goes. I have to say this definitely favors the Viper Randy Orton, but maybe Seth can prove me wrong on that. Maybe he can prove me wrong. Honestly, my favorite pay-per-view is coming up in a couple weeks, the Royal Rumble. I always love the Royal Rumble. That's probably my favorite pay-per-view next to WrestleMania. Because I feel like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, like, the biggest stuff happens. There's a rumor that The Rock is supposed to win it. The Rock is supposed to actually come back and win it. Or Seth Rollins is supposed to win it and then go on to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, in which he will beat Brock Lesnar for said title. And honestly, I would love if that would happen. Anything but Brock Lesnar, because I hate Brock Lesnar with a passion, so anything. And honestly, I hope Ronda Rousey loses the title to Sasha Banks at Royal Rumble too. I love Sasha Banks. I always love Sasha Banks. I think her character is way more interesting than Ronda Rousey. Because Ronda Rousey's character is just lame. Like, if WWE did not write her in to use the same gimmick that she has used in UFC, like the baddest woman on the planet, like that's her gimmick. That was her gimmick for UFC, and it's the same gimmick for WWE. It's like WWE and UFC aren't the same thing. You're not playing a character in UFC. You're just fighting. There is no acting component into it. Like, you're either brutal or you're not. You know, and that's like, nobody judges you based on, you know, they only judge you based on your fighting skills in UFC. And I'm not saying, like, people don't have talent in the UFC. Like, I believe that there's a lot of, like, you know, there's a lot of training and talent that goes into that. But the fact is that she's, and wrestlers pick their gimmicks. They pick their gimmicks. They actually pick their gimmicks, and then the writers say okay or not okay to it. So the wrestlers pick their characters. They pick their names of their characters. So when Paige debuted, she picked the name Paige. She picked the name. She picked the character. She picked how she was gonna act. You know, act out that character. So it was Ronda Rousey's decision to continue the baddest woman on the planet gimmick. But in my opinion, if you get your butt whooped in 2 fights and then lose and then cry about it, you're definitely not the baddest woman on the planet. Probably the most pathetic woman on the planet, but, you know, it just, I don't know. It's honestly, like, I would have been fine if they didn't make her champion as quick. You know. But it's not that I don't like Ronda Rousey. It's more or less, I watched her a lot in UFC. I watched all of her fights, even the fights where she got her butt handed to her. And I enjoyed those fights. Seth Rollins gets a super kick on Randy Orton, but I definitely enjoyed those fights. Those fights were great. But, you know, when Holly Holm beat her, because Holly Holm kicked her butt, and then Amanda Nunes kicked her butt. And Amanda Nunes, like, knocked her out in, like, 30 seconds or something like that, I think it was. Or 40-some seconds. And then she became a dual champion when she beat Chris Cyborg in, like, 48 seconds or something like that in the most recent fight that I watched. That's when John Bones Jones came back. But, you know, RKO on Seth Rollins, I'm not even paying attention. But I'm saying, like, she just needs a new gimmick, and that's it. If they gave her a new gimmick and made her stop using her stupid UFC gimmick, because, one, you're not the baddest woman on the planet anymore. You're not. This is a totally different sport. This is a totally different thing. It's like you can't use the same thing. If you lost in 2 fights, like nobody's gonna, and you lost badly, like nobody's gonna call you the baddest woman on the planet anymore. You know, it's like I don't think you have a right to call yourself that if you lost 2 fights, like really badly. Like I don't know. It'd be one thing if she lost and she didn't lose like 30 seconds into it. It's another thing if she lost like 30 seconds into it, you know. Seth Rollins again kicks out, but I gotta focus on this match here. But that's just my opinion. I think that if the writers didn't make her champion quick, I could stand her a little bit more. Like, her promos are pretty good, though. I will admit her promo game is pretty good. Like when she roasted Nikki Bella and said that she busted down, the only door she busted down was the door to John Cena's bedroom, and then how he kicked her out. He actually did kick her out of the house. He forced her to move out of the house and everything. Which I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You know, that whole relationship was crap anyway. I didn't see them ever like lasting. Because see, Nikki Bella wanted kids and then John didn't. And it's understandable, you know, because John's a Hollywood guy. You know, he's always said that wrestling will be his home and wrestling is his thing, and I respect him for that. You know, I respect him for multiple reasons, but you know, yeah, she lives with her sister. She lives with Brie Bella now. Although she talked about like getting a house in LA or something like that, because her sister lives in San Diego, and she's got to go down to LA all the time to like train and stuff. So she talked about like getting a house down there. And Seth Rollins kicks out again. Jeez, man, this is a good matchup, and even when I wasn't really paying attention to it, Seth Rollins able to reverse out of that one. Lifts Randy Orton up. He busts Randy Orton wide open with that super kick. Uh-oh, looking for the curb stomp on Randy Orton. RKO! Jeez, that was pretty awesome. I will admit, that was cool. That was really cool. The catch and finisher there, that was really cool. Randy Orton comes out with a victory against Seth Rollins. I thought Seth was going to get that with the curb stomp, but you got an RKO midair. RKO. He's always working on Make-A-Wish and other stuff. And you know, yeah, he's always working, he's always doing stuff all the time. Like, I honestly don't think there's a day where he is not doing something. You know, where he's not, like, doing something for, like, some big company or something like that. So, like, if you're always working all the time, and she was injured at the time that they were dating. Like, she wasn't even in a wrestling ring. Like, she wasn't working either, and she wanted to be a mom. And obviously, when you're a parent, you got to be home for your kids. You can't be on the road all the time, or you gotta find some way to work it out. And she kept pressuring him into wanting children, and he didn't. So, you know, that's her fault. I think that's her fault. And I side with John on that one, not just because yeah, you don't got time for a family if you're busy. You don't got time for anything, you know? You don't got time for, you know, relationships or anything like that. Like, wrestlers for WWE, like, I think Paige said something about how she hasn't been home in like 7 or 8 years because she's with WWE, even without her being a wrestler. Like, if you're with WWE, you're still going around the world. Like, even if you're under contract and you're not wrestling, you're still doing stuff. You're going to autograph signings. You're training. When you're injured, you're probably either nursing the injury or training to get back into the ring. Like, you're always doing something. So I think, in my eyes, I think that, you know, John is just too busy for that. And he's not going to give up Hollywood. He's not going to give up doing movies. I think he's just going to go the Rock's route and just do 500 movies. I mean, he was in Bumblebee, which that was a fantastic movie, by the way. You know, he's writing children's books. He's doing all this other stuff. Yeah, Brie, you know, got out of wrestling. Brie Bella, after she had the baby with Brian, and I heard that she's thinking about having another baby with him. But, you know, like, she made that decision, like, that she wanted to get out of wrestling. Like, she's getting a little old for that, too. Like, she's getting up there in age from doing it. I mean, they've been wrestling, the Bella Twins, I think, have been wrestling for, like, 15 years or something like that. Like, and it's got to be a decade or something. You know, it's got to be. And Paige wrestled for, like, 7 years with WWE or something like that. 7 or 8. But she wrestled for 13 years, like, in her whole entire wrestling career. Honestly, if she didn't get injured, she would be women's champion already, not Ronda Rousey. Honestly. If she didn't get injured and they actually used her properly, she would have been women's champion and not Ronda Rousey. That's what made me angry, was that they kept on putting her they kept on putting her in. This was even before she was in. They kept on putting her in. I think it was a couple years ago when Paige turned heel on Charlotte and Becky with the Team PCB thing, like in 2015, 2016, and they kept on putting Charlotte in championship matches, and it was that whole, like, Divas. It was when the Divas title still existed, and Ric Flair, her dad, was helping her out win matches, helping her cheat in matches. Honestly, if it weren't for Ric Flair, Charlotte wouldn't be in WWE. Charlotte would have nothing in WWE. She honestly just has her last name, and that's it. I mean, the thing about Paige is, like, her family was wrestlers, but nobody else in her family made it to WWE. She was the only one to do it. You know, like, she was the only one to make it. You'll see that in her movie, which I'm excited to see. I can't wait to see that. That comes out in a month, actually, from now. February 14th, Valentine's Day. So I guess Valentine's Day doesn't suck too much, does it? I'm definitely gonna go see that movie. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be great. But we have a no disqualification match with Sky Outlaw and AJ Lee. Obviously, Sky and Paige have rekindled their friendship since their title match. Sky was able to retain her women's title against Alexa Bliss in an Iron Man match. I can't wait till Alexa Bliss comes back. She's supposed to come back at the Royal Rumble, I believe. Like, she's been injured. She had, like, an arm injury or something like that. Like, Paige has been promoting the hell out of that movie, too. With her makeup line at Hot Topic, like, she collaborated with Hot Topic, and now Hot Topic sells her makeup line. That's probably where you got it, but, you know. Yeah. Like, it was pretty cool, though, that you know, she has her own makeup line. Like, honestly, I'm happy that she's doing all that stuff with the clothing line and the makeup line and stuff. What's up, Frank? How's it going? Thanks for the follow, my dude. Thanks for the follow. But I love everything that Paige has been doing outside of wrestling. You know, I love everything that Paige has been doing outside of wrestling. I'm glad that she's found, you know, some other things to do, you know what I mean? I felt bad for her in the sense, because ever since those, like, you know, the hacking that she had done to her and everything, and the whole, you know, the whole, like, photo releasing stuff and everything, I felt bad, you know, because that can happen to anybody, you know, and it's unfortunate. But I also think WWE is really, like, mean and nasty. Like, I understand, like, you're a big company and you want your employees to fulfill to a standard, but, you know, you gotta understand that, you know, I mean, I've had my Facebook, like, hacked, like, 6 or 7 times, where people have pretended to be me on my actual personal Facebook page, and they've you know, said things to my family members. They message family members and friends and stuff like that. Like, unless that happens to you, you honestly don't know what that is like to have that done. And I felt, like, really bad for Paige in that sense, because she was trying to get her life back together. I mean, if she didn't date so many if she didn't date so many crappy guys, then maybe she wouldn't be in that situation. But that's remains to be seen, as this guy works on it. Yeah, but, you know, I'm honestly, closing thoughts, I'm honestly very happy to see, you know, Paige just making something of herself outside of wrestling. And honestly, I feel like in her mind, like, that's all she was good at. You know? I think in her mind she was like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm known for, and now I'm nothing because I'm not a wrestler anymore. You know? And I honestly think from, you know, I can't imagine, like, not being able to do something that you love doing, like, and that you've done for your entire life, like, legit. She's done that her entire life. She even said, I think she even said she's never had a real job, like a real teenage job. Like, she's never worked at, like, retail, or never, you know, at, you know, like, your average teenage job. She's never done that. She's always been wrestling. So, you know, she doesn't know what it's like to, you know, work in another place other than wrestling. And, you know, I just hope WWE finds another way to use her. I was mad when they removed her as GM from SmackDown, but I hope wherever she goes that she has fun doing said thing. And I hope that things work out for her. I honestly hope that her and this Ronnie guy from Falling in Reverse, I hope that works out. That way she can have a decent man in her life. But we all know, if any of you follow Paige, we all know how her relationship crap works out. It never works out good. Never. Honestly. But, you know, I'm praying for her, honestly, because, you know, she's cool. So, again, this is a no disqualification match, so anything goes. In case you haven't checked out on my YouTube channel, yeah, I know she's with that Ronnie guy. Yeah. I know that. But in case you haven't checked out one of the videos on my YouTube channel, which is insane the amount of views it's gotten. I think it's at like 500 views now. It's freaking crazy. It is a wish list video that I had made for WWE 2K20. And it's probably a 17-minute long video, I think, of me just explaining the things that I would like in next year's game. Some of the things that I explained in that video were already in previous games, like 2K16, 2K17, whatever. And the only reason why I put a lot of stuff in there, just to answer people's questions about it, is the fact that I liked those certain things, and I don't understand why they took it out if people like those things. Honestly, like, it's when it comes to games, it's different than taking something out versus tweaking something. Like, all they needed to do with a lot of those things that I mentioned in that video was tweak it. They didn't need to, like, totally strip it and totally scrap it and say, we're not going to do this again. So I think you'll find that video, like, very entertaining and just very informational. And a lot of people in the comments so far have told me certain things that they want in the game. This guy hits sky's the limit here and looks to pin AJ Lee. But AJ Lee kicks out at 2. So, feel free to check out that video if that so interests you. Let me know, like, if you're a person that plays the WWE 2K games, let me know, like, leave a comment of what you would like to see in the game. I tried to, like, for some of the things that I would like to see in-game, as Paige caused a distraction there to the referee, Paige paying dividends, it's some of the things that I mentioned in that video. A lot of it had to do with my career and universe mode, because those are the two modes that I actually like playing in the game. And I think that if they add some of those things into some of the things that I mentioned in that video, RCW will be even better. Even if it's simple things like new match types, title creation things, simple things that probably shouldn't be hard to add in the game that they haven't yet, or things that they've taken out that I don't know why they've decided to take those things out of the game. So I highly recommend watching that video if that's interests you in any way possible. It's just a video that took me a while to put together. I actually had, like, a piece of paper that I wrote down all the stuff in game, like that I wanted in game. So it took me a while to, like, compile that list, and it took me a while to, like, edit that video and to, like, get it right, because the first time I did it, it was like 25 minutes, and I wanted to keep it under, like, 10 to 15, and I did that. Well, not really, because it's 17, but, it was a lot longer than I wanted it to be, so I redid it. And yeah. And AJ Lee kicked out again. This guy looks to finish this again with another skyfall on AJ Lee. Looking to finish this matchup here. And she does. Continuing her dominance, laughing in AJ's face. But we still have the main event to come tonight. The match between Chris Danger and Miles the Ghost Anderson. I also mentioned in the video, like, creation stuff, like with customization with superstars and stuff. Because, I mean, everybody likes making their own superstar. So it kind of has, that video that I keep mentioning, it just has a lot of variety in it in terms of, like, I tried to keep it less about RCW, like less heavily on features for RCW, and more of, like, features that like just casual players of the game would like to have in the game. You know, because not a lot of people do what I do. Not a lot of people like use the game to its full potential, which I don't know why. Maybe it's because it just doesn't interest them or whatever, for whatever reason. But a lot of people like to say that these games suck. And in my opinion, if you're looking at it feature-wise, no. I honestly think that they've just gotten better. You know, somebody mentioned that they wanted like actual updates to the game, and I definitely agree, because we only get updates when DLC comes out. That's the really only time we get updates in-game. And we don't, like, with bug fixes and stuff. I can't tell you the amount of glitches that are in this game. Like, I had to redesign the tag team titles. Delete the tag team titles and redesign them because of a bug in-game. You know, I had to... And that's something that shouldn't happen. And I talked about that, or I don't think I mentioned that in the video. But, you know, it's definitely one of those things that's one of, like, the obvious things that I feel, honestly, it should be in the game. Like, every once in a... Like, 2K should keep track of the game. They should support the game. They don't. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because NBA 2K's taken up all their time, or other games are, but there are people who love these wrestling games. There's people who love playing these games. And, you know, a company that doesn't support it, that doesn't update it, where the game just comes out with bugs that shouldn't be in the game, that make parts of the game either unplayable or just simply... Like, there are some things in this game that simply irritate me. Not to the point where I don't want to play it. But you get what I mean. Like, simple things that, you know, shouldn't be an issue in the game are an issue. And 2K is not doing anything. So, you know, that's one of the things I would definitely like to see change within the near future. You know, I'd like to see them update this game, not just with new content, but with like bugs. And I would like to see them do something with the online, because if the online worked properly, I could do so much more than just RCW and Lockdown. I'm mostly a wrestling channel, so you know, I would love to do a lot more things than just Lockdown and RCW. But, you know, go ahead and check that video out if that interests you. It's on my YouTube channel, VGX Plays, same as my Twitch, where you can also watch all of the RCW episodes all the way from Season 1 up till now. I'm just happy to be back and 100%, you know, and not coughing every few seconds. And, you know, I coughed a little bit this stream, but I wasn't, you know, I'm not feeling terrible, you know what I mean? You can either win by pinfall or submission or climbing outside the cage. This is something Chris Danger has never been in before, so Miles Anderson definitely has an advantage. Now, Miles Anderson, he is very quick. Definitely packed on a little bit of weight for football, but with his days with the New York Jets, but lost some weight and went to cruiserweight and got a little quicker and more agile as a wrestler. Now, I asked him, I said, why didn't you just, you know, stay heavier? Like, why didn't you want to be one of those guys that was slamming people to the ground or doing whatever you wanted to do, as Miles Anderson delivers a Samoan drop to Chris Danger? He told me, he said, well, you know, you have to really decide. Wrestling and football are two different things. Obviously, you're going to want to be more beefier You know, he wanted to take a lot more. You take more punishment in football than you do wrestling, because a lot of times it's head-to-head contact, and you know, even with padding, that doesn't protect you. So he said that he wanted to put on weight just simply to lessen the impact of hits. And Chris Danger with the swift kicks. And now Chris Danger looking to escape the cage here. But Miles getting right back up, realizing where he's at. And Chris goes down. Middle rope. And a 450 on Chris Danger. Looking for a pin. You can win by pin. It's pinfall or submission or escape the cage. You don't necessarily have to. Looking for possession here. This is something I've seen him do in his days with the MWE. And he connects on that. 2. And Chris just kicks out at 2.5. Miles has him right where he wants him in his debut match. Needed the face and a Philly special to Miles. And Miles just trying to find a way back to a vertical base. Able to do that. But Chris Danger sniffs it out. But again, the quickness of Miles Anderson looking for another possession move. Planting Chris into the canvas. What is Miles doing? He should have had that. He let go of the pin. The Ghost let go of the pin. Now I asked him why they call him the Ghost, and that was because he could change, in football, he could change the course of a game out of nowhere. Like, he could go from having a 50-yard gain, 50 yards on the day, to 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He could turn it around real quick, and I think in wrestling that translates pretty well too as well. Chris Danger able to push him away. I don't know what Chris was going for there, but Miles able to sniff it out, and again Chris with the punch to the face. And a big knee strike to the dome. A little bit of Street Fighter impression by Chris. And the arm drag. Another possession move. We've seen this a couple times already in this match, and planting Chris again into the canvas. Dragging him to the middle of the ring. I think Miles is going to go for manifest. Uh-oh. If Miles hits this, it's over. Uh-oh. Manifest on Chris Danger. And now you can see a little bit of blood from the Dangerous One. But Miles definitely doesn't want to take his foot off the gas pedal. As Chris continues to climb. But again, Miles is right there, forcing the knee of Chris. And Chris decides to get down. I don't know why Chris decided to get down there. He could have... What's this? And Miles is right behind Chris. How did that happen? Manifest again on Chris Danger. Looking to get him again. With an armbar here. Armbar on Chris. But he lets go. And a Philly special on Miles. Chris calling for the door. But Miles gets right back up. You can't escape the door if you choose to. And now Miles is fired up. Miles calling for the door. And Miles escapes the cage. Ghosts don't belong in cages. What a great effort from Chris. Now, if you watched the RCW Envy pay-per-view, you saw Miles Anderson making a statement by attacking Chris after his match. And what a great debut match Miles had. Escaping the cage. Beating Chris Danger, but I can assure you that this rivalry is far from over. And that is our show, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this amazing episode of RCW. I can promise you guys Lockdown's going to be back. I apologize for not doing that for a while either. It's been a while since I've done that. But we will have it back. It will come back. Possibly Wednesday or Friday, depending on what day I want to do. Also, I might do streams at 3 o'clock instead of 4, like it normally says on my schedule. I might do an hour earlier on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, because I get home early. I get home around 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. On Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, so it really works out for me. So depending on my homework, I might do 3 o'clock. I might do 4 o'clock. So I'm not gonna change the schedule because I want to leave it at its normal state. I want to leave it at its normal state, just in case I don't happen to stream at 3 o'clock. Or I don't happen to stream at 4 o'clock or earlier than that. But just to let you know, streams might be a little bit earlier than usual. I usually I don't normally eat lunch at school, because I didn't have any money on my card. I didn't have any money on me to spend for lunch at school. So if I don't eat lunch at school, I usually come home and then eat something. I know I did today, so with that being said, I might start streams a little bit earlier, depending on my workload. So if I have homework that I need to do, I'm only taking 2 classes today, or every day, but, despite taking 2 classes, it doesn't matter how much class, well, obviously the more classes you take, the more work you're going to do. That's just a given. But with my classes, unless it's something big, like a paper or something like that, homework usually doesn't take me that long to do. I can usually get it done within 45 minutes to an hour. So if you give me that hour of working on homework, of doing what I need to do as a college student, then I'll still do the streams. It's sort of the same way when I was at my other college. Do homework, stream. Do homework, stream. Do homework, stream. And if I don't have to do something right away, I won't do it. Like, if I don't have to, you know, like, for example, if I don't have something due for, like, a week, obviously I'm not going to do it on the day it is assigned. Like, I don't like putting things off too long, because if you do, then you won't have time to do it to your best effort, because you'll be waiting last minute, you know? But you know, I don't want to change the schedule. I don't want to, like, change the normal schedule. I just thought I'd let you guys know what's going on. Also, I might join the radio station club that's at my college. It's this, and I figured I'd tell you guys about it because it has to do with sort of what I do for RCW. Like, this, when I met my communications professor, she said that she has worked for many different radio stations, local radio stations near me. Some of the radio stations that I listen to, she has worked for. She has DJ'd for. You know, it's really cool. But that club has to do with talk shows. We talk about, like, school sports, you know, like scores and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what it entails because I've only read the little pamphlet that they gave at student orientation, which was on the 11th. That was it. I have yet to get more info on it, but because she's my teacher, I could definitely talk with her, and I have her tomorrow too, so I'll definitely talk with her and get more info on that. I just thought I'd let you guys know because, you know, it's sort of furthering my commentary skills. And my teacher said one thing today and about radio, because she grew up as a very shy person. Like, she didn't really talk to anybody. And if she did, you know, she didn't really join any clubs. She didn't. She wasn't the type of person to get involved. And I've never joined a school-oriented club before. I've never done it. Mostly because of the fact that, one, none of the clubs ever interested me. Two, I was in a school where if you weren't an athlete, nobody ever cared about whatever you did anyway. So if you were like a member of chorus, well, if you were a member of chorus or band, then people did because you had concerts. But if you weren't something that was heavily publicized in the school, then nobody really cared for it. So that's another reason why I didn't do it, because, you know, if nobody really cares about it and nobody loves what you're doing and whatever, then how are you gonna love it if nobody cares about it? It's like you know, it's like doing this. Like, if you guys didn't love RCW, or if I didn't love making it, then I wouldn't do it. You know, it's sort of like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, she started working at radio stations, and now she's the advisor for this particular club, and I'm thinking about joining it. Because, you know, it'll further my commentary skills. And I've told everybody in there, everybody in my comm class, in my communications class, because I have two communications class. I have what's called Intro to Mass Media, which is basically basically what it is learning the basics of communication and learning how to use it, like, massively, like the news, the internet, you know, this stuff right here is considered mass media. So in a way, I'm improving my streaming skills in whatever through learning this stuff in class. And then I have another one that's Intro to Broadcasting, which talks about, hence, broadcasting. Either sports broadcasting, radio broadcasting, commentary, whatever. And that's what I want to get into. I want to get into commentating wrestling. Even if it's not WWE, which I doubt I'll get there. I'd love to. I doubt I will because it's a big company and, you know, whatever. But that's not really my goal. You know, my goal is, because honestly, as much as I love WWE, I'd love to work for them. I would love to do it. I'd give anything to do it. But honestly, I'd prefer to work at an indie promotion near me. And in case you don't know, if you're not familiar with it, indie promotions are like ROH, Ring of Honor, TNA. Anything that's not WWE related or big time like WWE is indie stuff. So all of the WWE wrestlers that you watch started in the indies. They all started on these other wrestling promotions. And there's tons of them that are near me. You know, there's tons of them that are in local areas that I could possibly either get internships to or jobs in. And that's what I look for doing. I also am looking to do script writing like I do for RCW. I can tell you I script everything. And honestly, do I write stuff down? And a lot of people ask me, do I write stuff down? The only stuff I write down, legit, is the results of the matches. Everything else, like storyline, like script-wise, sometimes I'll write ideas. Like, I'll write ideas for a storyline. But I won't, what's the word? But they're just ideas. They're not set in stone. You know, sometimes I'll write a script for a match like, okay, this person's gonna come out, and then I usually put like how it's going to tie into a storyline. So like with Miles Anderson, coming out like and running in and attacking Chris Danger at the NV pay-per-view, that's what set up this match that you just saw. You know. So, you know, when I was planning that out, I had to, you know, figure out when am I going to debut Miles? You know, when am I going to, you know, whatever, you know, and I had to figure all that out. All of that was in my head. How do I keep track of it? I honestly don't know. I'm just that good, maybe? I don't know. But the only stuff I write down is the results of the matches, and that's just because I can remember what happened. Like, I don't go back and rewatch these. Because I already know what happened because I'm the one broadcasting it, you know what I mean? So why would I go back and rewatch my stream, you know, myself if I already know what happened? You know, I just keep record of it, so when I'm planning the pay-per-view matches, it's a lot easier to plan out. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. I'm sorry, Jay, you came in towards the end of it, but it'll be available on my channel after the fact. Sorry for going on a tangent. I just tell you guys, you know, kind of what's going on in my college life, if that interests you. And, you know, I try to keep stuff wrestling related, and since it's sort of towards the career path that I want to go to, and it's having to do with this in particular, I just like to talk about it. Let me know what you guys would like to see from RCW going forward. Obviously, we have Brian Outlaw teaming up with his brother, Jason. Love the attire. I'm surprised. I actually made that attire today. I'm not kidding. I even told you guys that. And it turned out great. So I'm glad you guys like the attire that I made for the Outlaws as a tag team. I can't wait for you guys to see what I have planned for the second half of RCW. This is just the first episode of the second half. And if you missed any of the episodes, you can either watch it on my Twitch channel, because all my VODs, all my video on demands, they get rebroadcasted, but they're only here for 60 days. So on my YouTube, they're there permanently. Hence why I stream on multiple platforms, because I like to broaden my audience, and I also like to, you know, make sure people have different outlets of, you know, watching it, just in case, you know, you miss something. Because if I just streamed on Twitch and I had to manually export everything to YouTube, it would be a pain in the butt. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we had at the beginning of the stream, how we had to restart the stream, but the good news is, it didn't happen when the match happened. It happened before that, before anything else happened, so I apologize for that. I promise that it probably won't happen again, but again, thank you guys for, you know, making what RCW what it is. You know, I can't thank you guys enough for, you know, what you do for this show, and just you guys coming in, even if you guys come in for a bit, and, you know, for those of you that are on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever you're watching on, if you just come on for a bit and you like what you see, and, you know, you enjoy what I put out, you know, it really means a lot to me when I get, like, compliments like, you know, your show's so much better than WWE, you know, why isn't your show like an actual wrestling promotion, whatever, you know. It means the world to me, because, you know, as a wrestling fan myself, you know, I get ticked off at a lot of the storylines that WWE does, and, you know, sometimes they brew a good storyline and then they ruin it with something stupid. So, you know, you know, it's dumb, but, you know, I really appreciate, you know, all the support of the show, friends, family, whatever. You know, it's fantastic. You guys, you know, I wouldn't, honestly, in season 1, I didn't think it would turn into something like this. I didn't even think we were going to have the Outlaws or any of this or whatever, you know. I didn't think we were going to have any of it. But the fact that, you know, I'm able to turn this into a, not just streaming it, but the fact is, now that I'm going after it as, like, a real career path, it's even more awesome. Like, if I didn't do RCW, then probably I wouldn't be going to college for what I'm going to now. I'd still probably be stuck doing music, or, you know, and hating what I was doing in college. I didn't hate it completely, just didn't really like it. But, you know, if I wasn't doing RCW and I wasn't as a big fan of wrestling as I am, then I probably wouldn't have chosen, you know, to go after the possibility of being a commentator for wrestling. I wouldn't have, you know, thought of that. Like, I didn't even think of that. My mind was set on being a music producer, and that's what it was. And being an artist and touring all over the world. Not saying that wouldn't be cool, but, you know, being able to be a part of something like this, and even though it's in a virtual world, like, this is a video game, for God's sakes. This is a freaking video game. This is just a video game that some company created. But the fact that you're able to do this, and you're able, that I made the fake tweets, and I put so much into this, like, the fact that RCW has become what it has become, like, shocks me, even as the creator of it. You know, like I said, I didn't think that we would have the Outlaws. I didn't think that we would, you know, have any of this. And the fact that we do, it's great, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, literally, when, I can tell you this, when that tag team title bug came in, and I had to redesign the titles and everything, I got so sad. Like, I was, like, sad for, like, 2 to 3 days, because I knew that I was going to have to take a break from the show. And I didn't want to. You know, like, I like to take breaks after the first half, like, after the first, like, 10 episodes. But, you know, that's normal. That's because that's how I have it laid out. But if I had to take a break because of a stupid bug in a game, of course I'm going to be mad about it. And I was really sad for like 2 or 3 days. I was like down in the dumps because I couldn't do it. You know, that's how much this show means to me, and the fact that you guys, you know, love it and cherish it and do whatever the hell you want with it is amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. So, alright, I'm done talking at you guys. My voice is tired at this point. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I promise that I will have Lockdown back either Wednesday or Friday. Unless that's if I get the next card for RCW done. I usually like to do it right after these episodes. So, anyways, thank you guys for making RCW for what it is, and I can't wait to see what you guys think of, you know, the storylines that I have brewing up.